The whole idea of today, it started with, can we really change our life? And can we become rich? I'll tell you a secret that I spent 40 years of my life trying to get to the next stage. I'm a doctor, so mainly I'm really square. You go to school, you do your homework, you don't get out of line, and my parents sacrificed everything for me. So that's the classic story of why you're a doctor. That's it, because my parents wanted me to be a doctor. And among the choices I had, I remember that for them, having the title DO in front of your name, that's mean that you made it. And so, okay, Pop, and he's right here in the room, he's right there. He looks younger than me though. The man sacrificed everything for me to go to school. And you know what? I hated school. I still hate school. But I remember when I made my application, it was written there, it's okay, if you go in medicine, that's 7 years, at least. If you go in dental school, you're still a doctor, that's 5 years. Look at him. Is that okay, Pop? You're still a doctor. Whoa, that was a great deal. So I thought. I can tell you today that I have the utmost respect for everybody who wear title doctors, because you have to earn those letters every single day. So here I am, 4 years later, earning my stripes, and saying that, okay, so what's next? I have my car, I have my dog, I have my house, I even have a wife. Is that it? I always try for more. See what's out there and reach for something else. So here's my real story. Those of you who know who I am, I'm always so crazy. There's always some ideas. Thank you. And I created a new project trying to make dental medicine something human. It was my way to give back. I was about to leave the profession. I gave 20 years of my life to the happiness of my parents, those 2 letters of PR in front of my name, and it was time for me to move on. I'm very grateful to this profession for one reason. It's that profession embraced me as one of them. I wasn't cut to fit in, and it gave me all the chance I needed to succeed. Then I succeed because I took care of my patients, and my patients took care back of me. So depression, suicide, everything that dentist has to go through, I've been through. But I survived, and I tried thanks to the love of my patient. That being said, I have a chance to have a lot of great friends. If you open, it's amazing who you'll be able to meet. Not that the person who brought all the animals to tell us, if you think that they're ugly, that's a good thing. So we had a beer one time and we said that, hey man, dentistry is the profession with the highest rate of depression in society. Yeah, that's ringing a bell. But look at you, you hate what you do, and you don't look depressed, man. How do you do it? There's something here. Something I did within the profession that allowed me to fight that depression, to fight that darkness, that emptiness. So I built a project called Amdex, trying to humanize dentistry, to put you at the center of the care. So yes, they are my sponsor, it's my company. It gave me 2 minutes to just sell myself. You can pause me. So the idea is, you all hate to go to the dentist. There's a reason. Because you spend your time in the OR. And mostly, dentistry is more than just grading. It's connection. It's trust. So we try to convince a lot of people saying that we have a better idea. Let's create that trust first before we start to pull the trigger. We succeed to implement the first MX concept, which is right here on the 5th floor and also on the ground floor of this building. And the whole thing is not about technology, it's about you taking the time to connect between the dentist and the patient. That's the trust, that's the success. So I had a crazy idea. We had the audacity to build it. And now it's time for us to sell it. I'm in an industry that's very, very conservative, you have no idea. So as we were trying to save people, the exact people we're trying to save were looking at us. Why trying to do it? Are you crazy? I have to tell you that, by that stage, I invest every dime that I have in that project. 20 years of work, credit went to that project. So if that project failed, that was it. So I needed a way for me to get out there and tell the story. Why should people listen to what I have to say? What is ethics? And I remember I met with a lot of experts. All of them coming with a list of things to do and a very big bill. So the choice I have is either I spend a fortune to try to convince people that what I'm doing was right. But then as I was more open, I met with a friend. He's a producer. He looked at me and said, hey, I have the key to your problem. You are trying to sell things to people. People don't like it. How about you share? You share about your past. You share about your struggle as an entrepreneur. And we'll change the crowd. Stop talking to them. They won't listen to you. Talk to people like you. People who are trying to save the world, change the world. People who are trying to make a difference. Entrepreneurs. So I was listening to the man and saying, yeah, okay, I can do that. It took him a month before he came back to me and said that, okay, you'll be starting in Toronto. Okay, now I have to speak in English. By the way, my English is way better today. Trust me, I'm French, but French. He was playing with me. He was playing with me and I said, okay, by the way, one last thing. You'll be speaking after Michelle Obama. Really? And it wasn't a joke. He showed me the negotiation, and I'm not the kind of man who will back out of something that I'm real. So he looked at me and he was laughing. He had fun and said, no, just take a beer, brother. He wasn't joking. I was still very scared. And then he looked at me again and said, okay, if you really need my help, go on the internet, go watch some TED Talks, and write a few of your past, and I'll tell you which one is the best. You know what? I don't even know what's a TED Talk. I work, I eat, I go home. Listen. But Michelle Obama scared the crowd. So I went back home that night. I went on YouTube and started to type in TED Talks. I spent hours going through TED Talks until I stumbled on a video of the Amira, William McRaven, about making your bed. It wasn't even a TED Talk. But the speech was so inspiring. About little things making a difference, about the power of hope. And the music was born. That's straight from Hollywood. So I started writing down my thoughts. What happened then is Michelle Obama scared me so much that I need to write in English because I was picturing myself on stage speaking just like today. And I'm not that sophisticated as a person, so I speak as I write, pretty much. Within 2 weeks, I lined up 21 TED Talks in English. That was just because I said yes to that crazy guy, a friend of mine, saying that he's speaking on stage. I went back to him. So I said, hey, here are all my TED Talks. Which one you like? He didn't believe me. He went to say, holy shit. He did it. And then I asked him, so which one you want? He said, oh, I do have a bad news. November, Toronto, we're going to have the event, but Michelle Obama will not make the event because it's too close to them and Thanksgiving. But, don't worry. We signed her for Paris. That's in February, and it's even in French. So you can speak in French if you want. You have to excuse my French here. But he was looking back at me, and for those people who know me, I do have past. Not as a politician, but I'm very involved. And to me, gratitude is important, and to know where you're coming from is also important. So he was looking at me and saying, you know what you need to do, huh? I remember that the word coming out of it is tata. I would be one of those immigrants who just succeed and then turn it back on the French filmmaker writing a book in English. They will be pissed and they'll be right. But what should I do now? I wrote my first book in 2 weeks. I went back home just because I said yes the first time. I beat myself up to the bone, and trust me, it's still some scores. And I rewrote the whole thing in French. 2 weeks and 6 hours later, I finished my second book in French. 25,000 words became 35,000 words. I can tell you that today we're exactly in front of doing both. And French is not easy. So then I was, after a month, having 2 books in 2 different languages, and said, okay, I did my part. You know what? Michel never made it to Paris. But every time that I was writing, I woke up an hour early in the day.
Then I started writing about leadership, about identity. Before I knew it, I was writing history, 1 chapter at a time. For the last 6 years, I am running a marathon of sprints. I discovered powers that I never even doubted that I had. I met with presidents, pioneers, entrepreneurs, ministers, leaders, doctors, even former head of state, being who I am. A man looking to make a difference. I even got my son of 8 to become a world record author too. I am as humbled that I am grateful. I did all of that because I was open, because I said yes. That's my story. That's the power of yes, and I am just beginning. I am Dr. Beck. Welcome to the Alphas. Yes, it all starts with a yes.